Well guys, we did it. 50,000 is kind of an incomprehensible number when you try and think about that many people in one place. I cannot thank you guys enough, so here is the promised Q&A. I'm actually going to split this into two parts because I received a ton of questions about War Thunder and then a ton of questions about myself, so we're going to separate those two, and the part about myself is going to actually be more real-life oriented. Oh, and to get the most common questions out of the way, my name is Ethan, I'm 23 years old, and I've been making War Thunder videos since January of 2022. So let's start with the War Thunder questions first, and then we'll do the real-life stuff afterwards. So let's get into it. As the channel grows to a larger audience, can we expect to see any collabs? Honestly, yeah, I've been wanting to collab with some other YouTubers for a while. I don't have any plans to currently, but I would love to collab with some ground YouTubers because I want to introduce more ground content on my channel. Any chance we would see any historical or montage type videos? Honestly, I have thought about this before. I have considered making some sort of like deep dive video on the technology of piston engine aircraft, especially around like World War II era, because I think that stuff is really cool. However, it would definitely be a more large scale project for the channel, and it would take a ton of time, and I'd have to figure out how to properly research, find sources and all that, and I've never really done that before, so I'm a bit nervous to actually attempt that. However, I would like to do that in the future, yes. Do you plan on doing different forms of content besides plane reviews like challenges, lineups, or more tank gameplay? Yes, absolutely. That's going to be my biggest goal for 2024, is to diversify my content, try some new stuff, because the whole, plane review gameplay thing has gotten very, very stale for me. I have a few ideas, but none of them have come to fruition yet. But, y'all see when the time comes. What was your favorite plane to fully spade? Honestly, I think the last plane I actually grinded out from stock to spade was the J7E, so I'm going to say that one. What is your favorite prop, early jet, and top tier jet in the game, and why? I'm going to be honest, I don't really have definitive favorite planes in this game. It kind of just depends on like what I am enjoying at the moment, but if I had to pick, I've been playing the Yak-1B recently. That one's pretty fun. Early jet, probably the LA-15 is still my favorite, even though I can't hit the broadside of a barn with my guns. As for top tier, currently it's the Gripen, but that could very well change tomorrow, you never know. And as for the second part of your question, I did grind out China. That was the last one I think I grinded out, and I remember it being fairly easy, so I guess I'll say that. Now that you know 50,000 subscribers is possible, do you have any bigger project or goal for your channel and your career on YouTube? I think so, yeah. I definitely want to keep my channel growing as much as I possibly can. As I said earlier, answering someone else's question, definitely want to diversify my content a little bit, see how far I actually can take YouTube. But obviously there are going to be some challenges, because within War Thunder, I feel like there's only so much content you can make, and that's kind of at the point where I am right now. I'm starting to try and figure out other ideas other than just vehicle reviews. So, I mean, I don't know yet, but I definitely have some ambitions to really diversify and make different kinds of content, especially starting in 2024. Will we see you play in a group in horror co-op games like Lethal Company sooner or later? Maybe. I don't know. I still haven't played Lethal Company, even though I bought it and been meaning to try it, so who knows? Will there be some IRL content or historical content, something like Spookston's historical video format, but with planes? This is another maybe. I mean, like I said a minute ago, I would love to take a deep dive onto like the technology of piston engine aircraft in World War II, because I think it's interesting, but I don't know. Maybe that should be one of my goals for 2024. I don't know. We'll see. I would like to do that, yeah. Do you have any ideas on how Gaijin can improve ARB at the higher BRs? Yeah, I've definitely got a few. First off, and most importantly, reducing the player sizes and the team sizes at top tier. 16v16 is complete chaos and kind of sucks if you're playing by yourself. If you're playing with a full squad, I do actually find the 16v16 pretty enjoyable, but that's only if I'm playing with a full squad of my friends who are also pretty good at the game. Second, I would completely overhaul the spotting system, make it to where everyone within a certain vicinity, I don't know what that range would be, say, just as an example, 10 kilometers. I'm not saying that's what it should be, but say everyone within a certain vicinity should be spotted, unless there is something physical in between you and the other people that are within that vicinity, say a mountain. Like say on the volcano map, if someone's on the other side of that volcano, you shouldn't be able to have them spotted, but as soon as they're in your line of sight, they would be spotted. And these ideas are only if ARB stay the same game mode as it is now. If it were me, I would completely overhaul the game mode completely and probably have multiple game modes for ARB. Like I would probably have some sort of permanent game mode similar, or just straight up jet strike for everyone to randomly queue. Doesn't have to necessarily be jet strike, but something that's just exclusively PvP based, that doesn't have like bombers in the game mode, no like ground objectives or anything, because that's what I enjoy in this game, is the PvP aspect of it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stop rambling here. There's so many things I would change with ARB. I'm just gonna make that its own separate video at some point, alright? How about that? Overall, what has been your favorite memory or moment of any match in War Thunder? To be honest, I don't have a favorite. There are lots of times when I've been squatting with my friends that have been incredibly fun, so I'll just say all those times I've been squatting with my friends. And then the second part of your question, what's been your favorite time ever outside of YouTube life? That's a tough one. Bonnaroo of this year, 2023, was probably one of the best weekends of my life, and I think about it all the time. And if you don't know what Bonnaroo is, it's a 4-day camping festival in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, with every single type of music you could imagine, and it's just the best people and the most loving atmosphere in the world. It's really incredible. What planes do you think you should be added? I don't know. F-20? That's kind of a cool plane.
Do you have plans to make any more videos flying in a squad with friends? Yeah, definitely. Just a matter of, like, is everybody on and is everybody willing to be in, you know, a given video. What's your favorite BR range for air and ground? For air, I don't really have a favorite. That very much changes, kind of a flavor of the month thing. And then for ground, honestly, I think pretty consistently like 3.7, 4.0, 4.3, 4.7 is always a pretty good time in ground. What War Thunder content creators could take you on in 1v1 air realistic battles, and who do you think would beat you? Actually, this question could be answered pretty easily. If anyone has any like real experience with like duels, they'll probably beat me. I don't duel. The only duel experience I've ever had was like with Seek and Wheezy like a long time ago. And then one time where I dueled Frozy where he beat me like 30 times without me even touching him. To be honest, I'd actually like to try and like get into duels a little bit, but I feel like I don't know, I don't want it to like take over becoming like trying to become this like hyper super triple skilled duelist when in reality all I play is, you know, random battles in ARB, which is like a completely different thing. Do you plan on playing different games other than War Thunder or not? If so, which games do you have in mind? Well, I'm assuming you're asking, like, do I have plans to post other games on my YouTube channel? To be honest, not really, except for the occasional one-off video, like that Counter-Strike video I made a little while back. But as far as other games I'm currently playing, I play a bit of Counter-Strike now when my friends are on. Every now and then I'll actually run some solo queues too. But that's about it, honestly. Oh, actually, you know what? Scratch all of that. I really want to get a VR headset, and I really want to start posting VTOL VR content. So I'm not going to say expect that in the future, but that is very much a possibility. If you could only play one aircraft for the rest of your War Thunder career, what would it be? I honestly don't know, so I'm just going to say the F8 Crusader because that's my profile picture. In some streams, it is seeing that you also have all the way to top tier ground. Will we ever see ground content? Well, I don't actually have all the way to top tier ground. I do have a Russian 10.0 lineup, but that's as high as I have. And then I have like a couple like random premiums that I've never really played that much. But I have uploaded some ground content in the past. I probably have like, I don't know, 7, 8 videos on tanks in my channel so far. I do want to incorporate incorporate more tank videos, especially in 2024. That's actually one of my goals. So yeah, expect ground content for sure. What plane or tank would you use just to have a good time in War Thunder? I have been enjoying the Kafir Canard lately, even though I haven't made a video on it, which I actually am making a video on it. As for ground, I haven't played much ground at all lately, but the last time I was playing ground, I was playing the M24 Chaffee. I find that thing really fun. Also, the SAV, the Swedish full auto thingy, that one's fun too. What tech trees would you like to see added, and what do you think will be added? This is something I feel like a lot of people don't really know about me. I really don't think we should add any more tech trees. I feel like there's so damn... I feel like we already have too many. But, you know, obviously they're going to add more content, but I don't really know, to be honest. If there was one plane you could add into the game, what would it be? If there was one feature you could add to the game, what would it be? Fully customizable point of view from the third-person perspective in air RB and arcade battles. So in Rocket League, you can fully customize your point of view from, you know, your third-person perspective of your car. I want to add all of those features to War Thunder. So distance away from your plane, the camera distance away from your plane, the field of view, the height of the camera from your plane, and then also the angle at which the camera looks down on your plane. So say you could be looking down more of an angle or more flat from behind. Favorite plane outside the game? That's a tough one, but probably the F-22. It's kind of sexy. Will you start playing mil sims like IL-2 and DCS? Probably not. I'm not really into sims. I just like, you know, and this is, you know, it's kind of like why I enjoy War Thunder. I don't enjoy it necessarily because it's like all these like really cool planes, and I can like, be into like, I don't know, I can be like, oh, I can use my favorite real life planes game. Like, not really. That's not really me. I just kind of treat, you know, video games as video games, if that makes sense. What's your favorite early game vehicle? I said Yak 1B earlier, so I'm gonna say that again, Yak 1B. Dogs or cats? Both. And my favorite restaurant? We have this local chain in Memphis, Huey's. They make some absolutely fantastic burgers, fantastic comfort food. If y'all are ever in the Memphis area, go to Huey's, get a Bluff City burger. Shit is delicious. What planes do you play when you're not making content? Yeah, that's kind of the thing. I don't really, play planes outside of making content very often. I can't remember the last time I did. You know, if I am, it's when I'm streaming, which I guess is its own kind of content. How do I train my aim for ARB? I do not. That's why my aim is not very good. Favorite missile? Ugh. Favorite SAR? Probably the R-27ER. Favorite IR? Probably R-73 or AIM-9M. Or the AAM-3. That's pretty good too. If I didn't make money from recording War Thunder, would I still play it? Probably, yeah, just not nearly as often, and I would probably be much more of like a sweat. I would be trying to like rack up, you know, my KB and whatnot. Any tips for a YouTuber trying to start in War Thunder content? Consistency is key. Be authentic, be yourself, and don't try and copy somebody else's style. What's up with you, Seek, Jake, and Lee? Did you all meet before YouTube or because of YouTube? Jake and Lee were already friends with Seek before they both started YouTube and before I started YouTube. But I started talking to them because I found Seek's channel a long time ago, and I was like, oh, this guy's just like me for real, another small YouTuber. So I joined his Discord server, and for some reason they liked me enough to include me in the shenanigans, which personally I think it was great for me because this was like literally my first ever introduction to actually becoming involved with the War Thunder community, because you know, I've been playing this game since it came out, but I've always just kind of looked in from the outside. I've never really participated in the community. I've always just played the game and kind of, you know, watched other content creators when I was younger. Seeker Nuts says, who is your favorite Ratio member? It's got to be that one rando that had no idea who we were, who was like level 4 and ran into us when we were playing like, you know, 3.0 or like 4.0 ARB or something. Anyway, this dude was like, can I join Ratio? I guess he just liked, like, you know, having Ratio in their name. So he was like, can we join? And he was like, yeah, sure, for sure. So we had this dude who, like, had no idea that any of us were YouTubers and whatnot in our squadron, which was kind of funny. I think he ended up leaving after, like, a week or something. I still don't know if he actually knew who we were, but probably that guy, because he had no idea. Also, I don't remember his name. Hope he's balling out somewhere. Why did I start playing War Thunder? Growing up, I was always into planes. Always wanted to be a pilot when I was a kid. Had a bunch of RC planes when I was younger. Still would love to get back into that one day. So I found War Thunder, and I was like, oh shit, this really cool video game, you know, about dogfighting and whatnot. And that's how I got into it back in 2013. Why the F8 is your PFP? It kind of looks like a face, so it's funny, Lamau. Many people have called you the Spookson of ARB. What do you have to say to that? I would very much take that as a compliment. He seems to be doing, like, the best by far in the War Thunder community, unless I'm completely forgetting about somebody in terms of, you know, viewership and content creation. So I actually, like, hope I can grow that big one day. He seems to be doing awesome. Everybody's gonna be like, he's a furry. Okay, so that's about it for the War Thunder and YouTube related questions. So how about the more personal related questions? And holy shit, I'm already almost 12 minutes into this video. Wow. Disc golf content win right now. What's your favorite disc brand overall? And then what's your favorite disc in your bag and what company is it from? I don't really, like, get super partial towards specific brand, but I do bag a lot of Innova, especially for my drivers. Favorite disc in this bag is this flat top Champion Firebird that I have. I use it, I swear, on like at least half the holes on like almost every course I play, at least locally. Started out really overstable being a flat top Firebird. It's beaten into be a much straighter Firebird while still holding a lot of stability. You throw it hard, it won't turn over, but it'll hold straight for a really long time and then softly finish. Much softer than you would expect from a flat top Firebird. It is cash money. Siblings? Yeah, I have 2 younger brothers. They are twins and 20 years old. The dreaded dream car question. I have a lot of cars I would love to own one day, but I don't necessarily think I have like an all-out, like a be-all, end-all dream car. One I would really, really love to own one day is a 2004 Terminator Mustang Cobra, or I mean, nickname is Terminator, but 2004 Mustang Cobra in Mystic Chrome. But there is a step above that year of Mustang that I really would love to have even more. It's just kind of borders on unrealistic. The 2004 Terminator Celine Mustang Cobra in Mystic Chrome. Oh my god. I would just, one day, man, one day, that would be incredible. I'm pretty sure they only made like 5 of them or something, though, so that probably will never happen. Otherwise, I would really love to build an RX-7 and keep it a rotary, like make some crazy rotary engine. I hardly know anything about rotaries. I just think when you have, like, you'll see videos like the 3-rotor, 4-rotor RX-7s that sound just absolutely insane. That shit is cool, and I want one. One day, man. Not to mention, I think the FD RX-7 is like one of the best looking 90s Japanese cars ever made. I think they're so fucking cool looking, man. If you played a sport, what would it be? Disc golf. Because I already play it, Lamau. Although I used to be a really, really good youth bowler, I would like to pick that up one day again. I would like to compete again as well, because that is just, I was really, really good at it when I quit. I didn't set foot in a bowling alley for like 7 years after I quit bowling, but I did pick it up a little bit recently, casually, with a couple friends. And I swear to God, I think I'm better than I was when I quit. I don't know how that's possible. Are you going or will you go to college? Not currently in college, would like to go back one day. I really want to study psychology one day, but in the meantime, I am planning on going back to school for learning to do IT work, because that's a career with endless possibilities. What kind of music do you listen to? Oh God, you might have just opened Pandora's box. Okay, that's a bit on the heavier side of the music I listen to, but like dubstep and rhythm is, which is dubstep, rhythm, tear out, whatever you want to call it, is my shit. I love it so much. Recently, I've been on more of like a melodic rhythm / color bass / whatever you want to call it, the melodic side of heavy. I've been on that a lot lately. Artists like Leotrix. Otherwise, sometimes I listen to a bit of metal, specifically on the more like progressive side. Sometimes a little bit on like the black, like atmospheric, like black metal type, like I don't know, gazy. I don't know if that's the right word. Stuff like Alcest. If you know who Alcest is, that's kind of like the metal I really like. Although when I first got into metal, I got obsessed with this guy and his band, his various bands, Devin Townsend. His song Deadhead is probably my favorite song of all time. That song will like never fail. Just absolutely give me chills every single time I listen to it. He is the most like just insane vocalist in the world. It's so awesome. Other than that, I like to listen to a lot, at least on the more chill side of things. I really like chill step artists like Black Mill, CMA, Eminus, like those old school, that old school like chill step sound. Really have always been, that's always been like a source of like comfort in my life, I think. And in the last couple of years, I've gotten into artists like Lane 8 and Eric Prydz, I don't know how you say it, but that kind of house music, the more like more melody, less repetitive. I mean, still repetitive, it's house music. Much more emotionally charged without necessarily having to have vocals to like bring out an emotional response, especially from me. And then a little more recently, I've actually got into Xavier Wolf again, and I've been listening to him for, you know, years, but every like year or two, I'll kind of go on a kick of just listening to old Xavier Wolf songs. I don't know why. I just really like his style of rap, because I typically don't like rappers that much. Goober level on a scale of 1 to 12. 40. Opinion on the Minecraft mod pack, specifically tech mods. Those are my favorite ones. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Although the one I mainly played growing up, Mechanisms, my buddy would make you know, his own mod packs. We play other ones. I would always play through Mechanism, get really OP really fast, and then get bored of it really quickly. But I really do enjoy playing through Mechanism. It's a lot of fun. Who's my favorite YouTuber? I'm gonna keep it real. I don't really watch YouTubers regularly anymore. However, there are a few that come to mind that I do enjoy watching every now and then when they pop up. My recommended. A lot of these like skit channels that have popped up in the last couple years, like for example, Joel Haver. I hope I'm saying your name right. Sorry, bro. Sherdley's, like Ryan the Leader. Like those guys. Those guys are like actually genuinely making funny, creative content that is fully authentic, and that is something that I am so happy to see more of on YouTube. So. I'm gonna say like those type of guys, like those guys. Oh, and someone else I forgot about, Kyle Gordon. Wait, yeah, Kyle Gordon is great. He makes really funny shorts, just like a lot of times like imitating people from like, I don't know, different eras or different types of people. He makes really funny shorts. There's also a ton of channels who make like animated content who like you've seen all these like random like TV show pilots. Or not TV show, they're really not on TV, they're on YouTube. Like these pilots, like the Vivzy Pop does a lot of them. I'm blanking on like other ones that are doing it. But a lot of those are really cool. I've always been a fan of animation, so that's something really cool to see as well. Favorite book? I have not read enough books to have a favorite because I just got back into reading this year. Like this year's the first year I've read a book since I was probably in middle school. But recently I've read 2 science fiction novels, Dark Matter and Recursion, both by Blake Crouch. If you're wanting to get into fiction, I highly recommend both of these because they are very easy reads for somebody who hasn't read a book in years. Plus, they're both extremely good, and there were literally some times in both of the books where I was like sitting there in my bed reading before I go to sleep, and I'm like sweating because I'm like anticipating what's about to happen. Thoughts on Chevy S10s? S10s are cool. Don't care what anyone says. I think they're sick. Best Lost Lands set ever. My guy. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Lost Lands. I have watched a lot of the sets, but I have not been, so I can't make a judgment. You know what's funny though? I think I'm gonna hit Base Canyon before I hit Lost Lands. Hello from Canada. Hello. Are you a pilot IRL? No, I'm not. One day I would like to get my private pilot's license. I don't think I would want to be a pilot as a career. I think I would get bored of it really quickly. But I really would like to get my private pilot's license and buy a plane one day. I did do a discovery flight one time when I was 15. That was kind of cool. So I've flown a plane before. What car do you drive or want to own? I drive a 2015 Focus ST with full bolt-ons and a custom tune, and then I also drive a 2003 Mustang GT that I've also done various mods to. It's not nearly as fast as the Focus, which is really funny, but I think it looks a ton better. It's really low, like a little too low to be daily drivable, but I still dailied it for like 5 years. That's my fault though, because I put coilovers on it and was like, let's make it as low as I can, and I just kind of left it. What is the answer to the ultimate question? The meaning of life, the universe, and everything. Life is what you make of it. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be loving and kind to everyone. It really does make a difference in people's lives and your own. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I don't know, Lamau. Is making War Thunder content your main job now? Yes, it is. And before this, I was working in a warehouse building doors. Basically, as soon as I started making money on YouTube and was bringing in money from my job, I paid off my Focus,
and then saved as much as I could, had a big cushion of savings, and then quit my job to just pursue YouTube full time. Do you have a dream job you want to have? I don't necessarily have a specific dream job that I want, but I do have some like parameters that would fit like a dream job, right? I want to be able to do something that I look forward to doing every single day, make enough money to live. I don't need a ton, just enough to live off of, and ideally still have enough time to pursue all the hobbies I want in the world and still maintain healthy relationships with my friends and family. What are your thoughts on Teslas? Do you hate them or love them or don't mind them, and why? I actually like being a car guy. I think like people expect me to hate Teslas, but I actually don't. I think Teslas are amazing cars. Like actually, if I could afford to daily drive a Tesla, I would. Like ideally, back to ideal scenarios, I have enough money to buy a Tesla to daily drive and then have my own separate pleasure or project car for fun and like the passion project. Are you a car guy? Yeah. I'm about to finish high school. Do you have any life advice or tips? Honestly, I feel like I'm not qualified to give life advice or tips. I guess the first thing that pops into mind, though, is that if you're planning on going to college, please take a gap year. I regret not taking a gap year. Now, I know you probably hear that a lot, but what a lot of people don't say about the gap year is that, like, what to do in your gap year. People are like, oh, just take a gap year and, like, figure your stuff out, but no one actually tells you, like, what to do. I feel like so many guys will just end up, like, sitting around, play video games, and not really, like, pursue or, like, actively try and figure out what they want to do. So if you're gonna take a gap year, which I suggest you do, you need to actively try and figure out what you like and figure out how to do the thing that you love. But I don't know though. You do you, Why and when did you start YouTube? I started YouTube, I want to say it was January of 2022. So I've been doing this almost 2 years now. And why? Well, at the time, I kind of wasn't really playing video games at all, and I kind of liked not playing video games at all. But I picked up War Thunder again, and I figured if I'm going to play this game, I have to do something that will benefit me in some way other than just enjoying the game. In addition to that, I started thinking about like, oh, what if I had like a small following on YouTube? That would be so sick. I could have my own little community, which... well, that happened. I remember thinking like, dude, if I could have like 1,000 subscribers, that would be so cool to have like 1,000 people that like watch my videos and like my content. And then eventually I got monetized, which is another big motivator. And now here I am at 50K. Which is wild. What was the first game you got into? I honestly don't remember. The first game I ever really got into was Minecraft, as it was for probably, hundreds of thousands of other kids. Honestly, I don't remember the chronological order, but I played a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 when I was really little, a couple of the Ace Combat games, and a bunch of various other PlayStation 2 games. Do you think you'll ever make another channel to try other types of content? Yes, absolutely, and I want to really soon. Is there any chance of seeing more disc golf content? Haha. Rindy, how long have you been playing disc golf? About 3 years now. Will you do other games and content involving cars? I doubt it, however, I have been wanting to make a car review. And your second question about playing other games, yeah, maybe some one-off videos here and there, but I doubt other games will be a mainstay on the channel. Growing up, did you ever consider or have the want to join the military? Air Force mainly? Not really. I definitely always thought it would be really cool to be a fighter pilot, but I never really had a desire to join the military, no. Did you expect to get this much success? Absolutely not. I thought this would just kind of be a side hobby to maybe bring in like a little bit of extra income sometimes. I did not expect this at all. Now this question I've had to put some thought into, and I still can't come up with a good answer because there are so many things I would love to see. Now I hope I'm interpreting this question correctly. It says, if you could see one thing, what would it be? Can be a thing that's long gone or is going on now. So I assume you're talking about anything, whether it be an event or an item or some sort of thing that's happened in the history of the world. I can't come up with a definitive answer. However, in terms of history, I would have loved to see the rise of the Egyptians and the pyramids. I would have loved to see the impact that wiped out the dinosaurs. I brought this up to some friends because I was kind of struggling to come up with an answer, and Jake brought up one. He said he wanted to see America before it was the United States. So, what was the land like? What were the people like? Native Americans and everything like that. Definitely is something I'd be very curious to see as well. Now, guys, I have one more question that somebody asked. I knew there'd be one about it, and I knew I would ramble about it, which I did. So, if you're curious about ADHD and my experience with it, buckle up. Do I suffer from ADHD or do I enjoy it personally? It has its ups and downs for sure, but within 2023, this is the first time I've ever actually started really learning about ADHD and a lot of the things that the ADHD brain will do. And I had no idea a lot of the weird habits I have, a lot of the behaviors I engage in, a lot of the way I respond and react to things is all tied back to ADHD. And it really makes a ton of sense. And it's a big
big relief to realize I'm not just like fucked in the head. And now that I've been in counseling for a while, I've learned to manage these symptoms of it a whole lot better, although not nearly as well as I would have liked to. So for the first time ever in my life, I've always been reluctant to medication, right? And this is the first time in my life, about a month ago, I started taking an ADD med. I take Vyvanse every day now, which has been an absolute game changer. I feel like I can actually, for the first time in my life, I feel like I can actually like keep my thoughts in check and keep my emotions in check, which is huge. So for basically my entire adult life, and actually, no, not even my adult life, my whole life pretty much, I've always kind of struggled with like keeping anger in check. I would never really like cause harm to anybody else, but I have blown up on people before a lot. And before I actually started taking action on the things I have to deal with ADHD, I was just like irritable all the time. Secretly, I was always very judgmental of other people, and I didn't even want to be. That's the thing. I would see myself like have a thought and just immediately make this judgment about somebody, and then I would just immediately hate myself for making this negative judgment about somebody that I know nothing about. And that's just one example. I would like, if say for another example that really was starting to get bad over the last 3-ish years, I would screw something up. I would say in disc golf, for example, I'd throw a bad shot, and my immediate reaction was to just like, my mind would immediately think like, I am a fucking failure. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like listen, ADHD is so like overlooked. People like, oh, I'm so ADHD. Like it gets taken so lightly, and then the people who actually have it get like kind of blown off. Like, oh, you like struggle with like keeping your attention. Like, oh, I do that too. It's like, not really. The biggest thing with ADHD is lack of executive function, and a lot of these problems come with that. Like emotional regulation is something that's very difficult for a lot of people with ADHD. Socially, a lot of people with ADHD, myself included, have it at some point struggled with you're like, I guess, interacting with peers. This doesn't really happen as much in my adult life, but much more when I was younger, say like middle school age and early high school. I kind of got lucky. Eventually I found a group of friends that were like, accepting of me and whatnot. And even though most of us have kind of gone our separate ways, I'm still in contact with every single one that I at least want to be in contact with. And sometimes it feels like one step forward, 2 steps back, but there is always progress happening, even if it's slow, because it is a slow process. But dude, it is so worth it to start working on yourself. And I'm still early in this journey, and it's already been completely life-changing. And if you don't have the means, or you don't have insurance or something to help really help you with this process, I highly recommend at least pick up the book. It's called Succeeding with Adult ADHD. It's the one with the black cover, 2nd edition. Pick it up. It's really, really helpful. And I'm hardly through it at all. I've barely gotten through any of it, but it's been, even just the first first few sections are like, oh shit, everything is making so much sense. Now, since I just rambled for way too long, the second part of your question/statement, I already forgot. I think you said you personally enjoy it, right? There are absolutely positives to having ADHD. So a lot of the things us ADHD people will really like latch onto. I've seen a lot of people call these things hyperfixations. I try not to use these like new buzzwords, because I feel like a lot of them are just that. They're buzzwords. It's kind of like the word neurodivergent as well. I feel like that's maybe even, it is like a legit phrase or word, but I feel like it's one of those things that gets thrown around like one of these like, oh, look at me phrases. So I try to avoid using them personally. But anyway, yes, there are positives to ADHD. Say, if I want to do something, if I have something I really like doing, there's a very strong chance I will get really good at it. Like, say, disc golf, for example. Yeah, that's the one, like, at least I think, that's the one good thing about ADHD in my experience. The things that I like, I will get really, really into, and just, like, put all of my effort towards it and probably get really good at it. Anyway, thanks for coming to this ramble of a video. Hope I did a pretty good job answering your questions. I was trying to be as detailed as I could. So yeah, thank you all so much for 50K. I can't believe it's here. I can't believe this channel has come as far as it has. So hopefully, next stop 100K. Thank you guys so much. Have a nice day, night, whatever. I'll see you next time.